welcome. You're listening to the Just Love Them podcast. I'm your host, Shiree Best. Join us to discover how to stay connected, find healing, and keep loving those who no longer share our faith. Today, I have joining me a very special guest, my friend Melonie Mullen. She's been a guest on here a couple of other times. In fact, Melonie, I'm pretty sure you're my most frequent guest.
It's because I'm your favorite person.
Well, there you go. And the reason we're having this podcast episode is because we have this Marco Polo group with there's 7 of us girls. A few months ago, we actually did an episode that had all 7 of us on here. But in this Marco Polo group, we occasionally get into some pretty deep discussions. And this was a discussion that came up of something that Melonie had shared. I just was learning from her as she was sharing. I just really wanted you all to be able to hear what she had to say and her stories and her experiences and her ahas. And so I invited her back, and Melonie's so gracious. She has never said no to me when I've invited her to be on this podcast. So Melonie, thank you for being willing to come back again and share with us some more.
You're so great, Shiree. I love you so much.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So Melonie, we started this conversation and it was about giving people what they want instead of what we want. And so I'm wondering if you could just start wherever you want, but I know you've got a couple stories that kind of go along and that kind of will unfold what that actually means.
This was something that I learned as I was experiencing learning layer upon layer. I felt like God was teaching me different things. And just because of the way I grew up as a child into adulthood, there's things that you learn as a child that you don't know that you're doing. One of the things I was doing that I didn't realize was I was trying to make everybody happy. Subconsciously, when I would walk into a room, I would like take everybody's temperature and I would be thinking like, are they happy and what can I do? And if somebody's not happy, I'm kind of nervous and I kind of have some anxiety about that. But I didn't really know I was doing that until I was an adult woman. And it took me a little bit of experience to reveal that to me. So I just started noticing what I was doing. And I realized that I was just really trying to please and fix and make people happy so that I could feel, I think, safe and comfortable. As I was entering into motherhood, I was trying to teach my children to work, teach them the gospel, teach them social skills. But my husband and I, we both really worked on our children being happy, always making sure we were doing words of affirmation, having fun family experiences, just hugging them, being very affectionate, always asking them how they were doing and trying to be involved in their lives. And as we were doing that, we realized we felt close to them. And I think they felt close to us. We had good relationships. When my sons started to lose their faith, it felt like they were stepping away from that dynamic with us. And they started to withdraw. Of course, I wanted the relationship to be the same. So I kept hugging them and kissing them and asking them how they're doing and wanting them to talk. And they weren't really responding in the same way. As a matter of fact, sometimes their response to me was like I couldn't understand it. Sometimes it felt like they thought I was pressuring them or I was even attacking, which was like dumbfounded to me that
Right, because that's the opposite of what you're trying to portray.
yeah. And it's like somebody's world has changed in this relationship. And I don't understand what your world is now, but I know that what I'm doing is not being taken the same way anymore. We all really receive revelation in different ways. The way I receive a lot of revelation is I hear words. I just believe there's ministering angels around us and they're whispering the things of the Spirit to us, things that are aligned with God. So I just heard these words and it said, Melonie, look at them. What do you see? Stop and pay attention. What do they want? So it was kind of those words. Stop, pay attention, look at them. What do they want? And as I started doing that, I started realizing that they didn't want me to hug them. They didn't want me to kiss them. They didn't want me to ask them how their day was. They didn't want any of that. And so I just thought I need to give them what they want. I felt like the Spirit was saying, give them what they want. And to me, all of that meant love. So stopping doing that to me felt like not love. But it was very hard to follow the Spirit for me because it was so foreign and it felt like not love. That was a strange experience. But I did notice in this situation that as I gave them what they wanted, it kind of felt like to me like I was respecting them. And I really learned a lot about respect during this whole experience. But respecting them to give them what they want was a different experience for me because it wasn't, the relationship didn't look the way I thought it should look.
Mm-hmm.
But what I noticed is that they started to move towards me. And I always thought to myself, I don't want to be cold. I don't want a barrier, but I'm just open to, I'm just giving you what you want. So if I see you moving towards me, then I will move towards you. Like if you come and want to talk, then I will talk with you. If
Yeah.
you want to hug as you're leaving, then I will hug you. But I was just only giving them what they wanted. And I did notice that they started moving to the center. And so then I moved to the center and I learned this principle and it was great. So I'm going on in my life and I'm kind of just learning a lot of things in layers. I had another family member who it was kind of the same situation where I was trying to make the relationship be something that I thought it should be. Like a good relationship looks like da 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 da. We're going to be happy. We're going to talk. We're going to socialize together. We'll laugh and we'll have fun and we're going to hug and we're going to say good things and build each other up. And I thought, oh, that's what a good relationship looks like. That's what I want.
Yeah. Like you're gonna come over and visit, and this is how it's gonna be.
Yeah, you kind of you have ideas in your mind of what you think a good relationship looks like.
Yeah.
And this person wasn't really responding in those ways. I kind of felt like me and my husband both, we just worked overtime. We're the kind of, we're going to dive in and we're just going to like really work on this person, help them feel comfortable, help them feel included, help them feel safe, help them, want to be with us because we're so cool. And this relationship's going to be so great.
Yeah. You can't help but love us. We're just gonna love you into it.
Yeah, exactly. Be so great. So we worked hard for years and we felt like this person warmed up to us and it felt like it was going well. And then something happened. It was a minor thing, but it kind of felt like it destroyed everything that we had worked on. They removed themselves from basically the family. We didn't see them or hear from them for 4 months. I was distraught. I just remember praying, when you have those moments in your life where you can hardly think or sleep or eat because this thing is so traumatizing for you. That's kind of
Yes.
what it was.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just beside myself. I wanted this relationship to be good and I felt like it had been destroyed and we had done what we felt like we could. It was so foreign. I was praying one night. This was such a special experience for me. I heard these words and it was like, Melonie, you have done a good job. You've tried and worked so hard and you can be done.
Oh, wow.
And it was like this release. It was just this relief of just I don't have to make this relationship look a certain way or be a certain way. And the words came into my mind of what I had learned all those years ago and what I had been working on, which is just give them what they want. I was so blessed by the Spirit because as I heard those words, it was like, oh, I don't have to make this relationship be something that this person doesn't really want. They're telling you what they want. You're just not listening. And you're feeling like it has to be something else. When the Lord said that to me, when the Spirit, when I heard those words, I just felt this feeling of I could be done. I don't need to keep working. It can just be what it is, and it's okay. It went on for months, and when the person eventually came back to the family, a miraculous thing happened. Like I didn't feel concerned. I didn't wonder, what are we going to talk about? How are they going to feel? What are they going to do? You know, that whole worry that was
Uh-huh.
my personality. It was like, I think the Lord was just teaching me that it's like another layer of, you don't have to be in charge of other people's feelings, and you don't have to work at making something look a certain way. People own their own stuff. And the other thing that kept coming into my mind at the time was, you don't have to work for love. You know, it's like people love freely and they give freely because of them, not because of you. And you don't know where they are at. You don't know what's going on for them. They have their own truth and their own story and their own world. And it doesn't mean, just because it's not what you want doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's different. And so it was really great for me to just have this whole experience of just, I don't have to work for love, and I don't have to make somebody feel something or be something or do something.
I talk to a lot of parents who their kids have cut them off, or some other family member has cut them off as they've made different choices in their life and they've gone a different direction. They will actually cut off the people who are trying to show love to them, just like what you're describing. I have occasionally had a parent say to me, or someone say to me, what about what I want? They might not want a relationship with me, but what about what I want? What would you say to that person?
So we just had general conference last weekend, and I remember one of the talks was talking about being spiritually strengthened. And like, we're given trials and we're given experiences, not because the Lord doesn't love us, but because he does love us. And that those experiences make us strong. They provide the refiner's fire. I just feel personally that these experiences as parents, when we are really in tune with the Spirit and we're really trying to do what the Lord directs, not through our own pride of what we want or of what we think it should be or what they should do and how they should feel. I remember when my kids were little and I thought, you know, you should respect me and you should obey me
I
and
was
you
all about
should,
that too.
yeah, and you should honor me. I remember when they were little and I just felt like the Spirit was teaching me, like, you want that more than you want love,
Mm.
and you want that more than you want to have a good relationship. That taught me so much when they were little, and I recognized, what do I want more? What do I want the most? And when I let go of, I have to be honored, I have to be respected, I have to be listened to, I have to be obeyed. It's like, I'm going to teach you and I'm going to work for you in this relationship. But in my mind, I and my soul, I let go of those things. I felt so much less discontent, so much less feelings of dissatisfaction. So my experience is, these experiences will make us strong, that we'll be taught to let go of our pride, to let go of, to understand what's the most important thing. I'm not saying what the most important thing is. I'm saying the Lord can reveal to us what is the most important thing. And for me, that's what I'm saying. For me, what the Lord was teaching me through all of this is that they are to be respected and what they want matters. For me, I don't think about what I want the most because I don't feel like God leads me to that. When I'm really listening to God, he doesn't talk to me about those kinds of things. As a matter of fact, these are some of the profound moments that I had as I was trying to just listen to the whisperings in every situation about loving these wonderful people who I care so much about, without wanting them to change so that I could feel good, that it could be easy for me, that it could be my fulfilling relationship. It's like, why should you have to change so that I can have what I want?
Ooh, that's powerful.
It was really one of those experiences where I felt like the Spirit was teaching me that all the time. The really deep and introspective questions that hit me in those profound moments, like I'm just listening to the Spirit and I'm just going through each moment with them that might be have something in it. questions, like the spirit would ask me questions, and it would be like, can't what they give you be enough? That is such a good question.
That is
It's like
such a good
people
question.
give love in different ways. They're doing the best they can. Can't what they're giving be enough for you? Why do you always kind of want more, want something different? Can't this, what they're giving, just be enough? I love that question. The other one was, why should they have to change to be what you need for a deeper relationship? Why is what you need more important than what they need? Can you let the way they love you be enough for you? Can you accept that this is what they want and give them what they want? Those were all questions the spirit asked me in different situations that were so powerful for me.
Those are
Really,
powerful questions.
they taught me a lot.
Yeah.
I really came to feel that the most respectful thing I could do was give them what they wanted and be okay with that. I felt like God was walking me through every step of the way. I think there's a lot of fear in parenting, and parents might say, well, what about what I want or what the relationship should be? What if I do this and they never move forward towards me or whatever? I feel like it doesn't matter. It's just, it's listen to the spirit. What feels like love? What feels like respect? Give that to them. At least in my experience, I've had a few of them where it comes full circle and they start respecting you and they move towards you. But the really amazing thing is, I feel, is that you don't notice it anymore. You're not paying attention anymore. Like this relationship I was talking about, when they finally came back and started participating in the family again, I didn't even notice. And I've never
Wow.
noticed since. I've never even analyzed it. I've never thought about it. I don't have any designs on what the relationship should be anymore, so I don't think about it. It's not even in my emotional wheelhouse or anything that I put energy into. It's just, it is what it is. I'm happy. I think they're happy, but I don't really know. I haven't even paid attention. It just feels fine and good, and I'm happy, and
Which
I
is a
don't worry.
complete 180 from where you were before with that relationship, where you couldn't sleep and it was just driving you crazy.
Yeah, and just all those years that we put so much energy into trying to make it be something that we thought it should be. And now we don't even know. If you even asked us, would think, oh, yeah, it's great. Because we don't
Wow.
even pay attention to it. It's like we don't have to make it be anything. So that's not, we're not putting any energy into it. And it just is what it is. And it's great.
Yeah.
But I don't know if anything's different or changed, but it feels different and changed, probably because we're different and changed.
Right. Not because they had to change, but because you changed.
Yeah. And now it just feels good. It
Yeah.
feels great. So I
Yeah.
find that interesting.
I think sometimes when we're trying to have a relationship with somebody, if it can't be the way that we want to love them or the way that we're used to showing love, sometimes we think there's nothing I can do then. Then there's nothing I can do. I'm just, my hands are tied. But that's really not true. I remember you saying a few things on that Marco Polo conversation about what you can do.
As you progress and in a relationship and you're trying to pay attention to what brings the spirit, what do they need? Those are all things that you can do. It's like for me, I'm still going to have family dinner, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to provide the opportunity for them to get together. I'm going to suggest that we get together at the park for something, or that it's somebody's birthday and we're going to so I'm providing opportunities all the time. So I definitely work for this family. I'm going to invite them over. I'm going to provide opportunities for them to get together. If a child has something going on, I'm going to let them know and I'm going to invite them to come. I'm going to go. But whenever they can't come, that's what I mean is it's like I never ask why. I never pressure or push. I don't have any conversations about that.
And you don't
It's
have any judgment about it either.
mm-mm.
That's one thing that has makes that shift is where you quit being, well, they should be doing this for the relationship and they should
Yeah.
be doing that.
And they didn't come and they didn't do this and they didn't show up and and it's like no, there can't be any of that. It just has to be I will provide opportunities and I will be helpful and being inclusive and giving information, but I don't ever, when they can't make it or aren't responsive, I don't ever pressure them to answer my text or to come or to
Mhm.
do anything. And some people might not feel like that's the right thing. Like expectations are good. But I think you have to kind of look at what your own family dynamic is and know what the Spirit's telling you, because I think the Lord can direct us in powerful ways to not to control them or to change a relationship or to make it be something that you want it to be, but He can direct you and guide you in you being okay with what it is and what is your part, what's your responsibility, and being totally fine with, I can do my part and I'm done. Like, I don't, it's like when God says, thank you so much for the work you've done, and you can be done. You don't have to keep trying and keep working for it to be something it's not. But yes, I'm still going to provide opportunities. When the relationship is good, I find that, and I say they're respectful for me, it's because they let me talk about the spiritual things I want to talk about. And they're so receptive and so open. But that's because for years, I made sure that I didn't do anything that could be construed as I'm trying to push you or pressure you into anything spiritual.
Interesting.
I know, but I had to do that. And God led me to that. And finally, it was like the relationship was repaired enough that now I can be a very indirect influence because they will listen to me and they will let me share, and they do it with respect because I'm so respectful of them. At least
Oh,
that's why I think they do it. So I think that's why they do it.
yeah. Yeah. That makes total sense. It does. Yeah. So what changed was you on the inside, letting go of judgment and just accepting them for who they are, having all these ahas, those questions that the Spirit taught you. Those are brilliant questions. In fact, I might need to see if you'll let me post those somewhere. Those are such great questions. But really, once you changed, you were able to totally let go and let God be in charge of whatever. It didn't have to be anything. You're just following what you felt prompted to do. What somebody else might feel prompted to do for their family might be different than what you feel prompted, but that listening to the Spirit and then that following whatever you felt prompted, that's really so important.
Yeah. And it's hard to be a parent. Don't you think it's hard?
So hard.
It's so hard. Is parenting adult children I feel like it is a refiner's fire. It's like you have to change because you're so connected to them when they're young. You're so tied and you're so invested. And then all of a sudden, it's like you are this main person in their life. And then when they grow up and they become adults, you're not the main person. You're,
Right.
you're very much a back person,
Hmm.
and making that adjustment can be difficult.
It can.
It,
It reminds me of trying to hold on to a little puppy who's trying to wriggle away. You know how hard it is to hold on to a little animal that's trying to get away?
or
Because when,
control them. They're trying to lick your face or be on top of you or run around. And you're like, what? Too much.
right. And when they were little, they just let you because they were teeny and they were helpless. But now they don't want to. They want to get away. They want to get down. And letting them can be a painful transition.
I think it can be painful, so painful and kind of even heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Just because you love them and you love that relationship and it's so important to you. And this whole process of letting go is it's a journey, but I feel like a journey with the Lord is going to be so much more productive and beneficial, and He's going to help so that you'll end up okay, that you're not going to be in pain forever. You're going to adjust, and then it's going to be the new normal to where that I'm okay with what it is,
Yeah.
and it actually feels good with what it is.
Yeah. I had an extended family member who got their feelings hurt over something. And for a year, maybe it was even longer, they didn't come to any family events. Their spouse would come, their kids would come, they wouldn't come. Even Christmas, even, Thanksgiving, stuff like that, they wouldn't come. It was really one of those things where I couldn't change it. You just have to give them what they want. That's what I learned to do. And that I could just, instead of having judgment and anger and angst about it, I had to learn to just kind of like send love from afar, let go of judgment, and just, like what you said, adjust to a new normal and just let it be. Because I didn't know if it would ever end. I thought that might be a permanent thing, that they might not come back. I had to get to the point where I had to be okay with that. Then one day they showed up And I was like, whoa.
Whoa.
But you have to act completely normal, of course. You can't be shocked to see them, but by that point, I had done so much work on myself too, just like what you're describing, that I was good. I was good if they came, I was good if they didn't come. And I truly wasn't like holding that negative energy toward them anymore. I had let go of that and I'd let go of the judgment and I was able to just accept whatever they needed and give them what they wanted. And so I think that's why when we were having this discussion, it just struck my heart so deeply what you were sharing because I wish I would have known that so much earlier. I had to learn it so much the hard way. And it's so painful to do that.
Yeah. The idea of giving them what they want, it is love. And it's like you know that they have a story. They have a world and you may not understand it, but it's the truth for them. And to honor what it is for them and be able to be in tune enough and pay attention enough because they are telling you, you can tell like this family member, it was like when you're trying to hug them and they're stiff,
Uh-huh.
you know that they're communicating.
Yes, don't hug me.
Yeah. When you're talking to them and they're not really responding or they're kind of reserved, you just know like, oh, they don't really want to talk. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, it's okay to just then back up and back away. But I do feel like for me, it has come full circle where now it's like they want words of affirmation. They want to be hugged. They want to talk. The relationship is good so that we can do that now. But I feel like there's things that you do when the relationship's good, and there's things you do when you're working on a relationship, and they can be so different. So don't, it's like you have to change. You have to just because it's one way at one point doesn't mean it's not going to evolve and then you change and then it's going to become another way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And it actually gives a lot of hope. It could change, but go with what is right now and do what you're feeling prompted right now. But that doesn't mean it's always going to be like that. It might be, but it might not because you got a full circle. And I kind of did too, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really good.
Yeah, I love your story. So like the work that you have done and the amazing relationship that you have with your kids from where it came from is such a beautiful thing. And I'm so glad that you do this podcast so you can share all those things that God has taught you, that you have been working on and learning, and that has blessed your family's life.
Yeah.
Has blessed your life.
Because none of us wants to go through this alone and have to learn it all from scratch. We can just share with each other and help each other and link arms and do this together. It just helps everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
Is there anything else you wanted to share?
I feel like I probably couldn't say enough, how great. So it's hard to express, but I remember when I first started going through so many things that were so hard and it was so different than what I thought. Having a gay son and being addicted to drugs and 3 children falling away from the church. I never expected any of that. I remember being so devastated and so heartbroken. And now all I feel is just so grateful and so much love and so much gratitude. I just see so much good. But when I look back, I think, oh, I don't think anything's changed as far as who they are, what they are. I've changed.
Yeah.
And now all I feel is just so much love. And I think when our kids are little and we have so much expectation of what it's going to be and how it's going to turn out. And I just feel like this transitioning period to what is so important so that we're not miserable, so that we can have joy. And there is so much joy and so much good, even when your children aren't active.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this family unit is so important. And if they're not active, that's okay. I know some parents don't feel like that.
Yeah. Well,
They just,
I didn't used to feel like that.
yeah. I just feel like it's okay. Like there are so many, I guess because of my experiences, I realize there are especially with mental and emotional health issues, I think there is so much worse things than having your children not be active.
That's a
And
really good point.
when
That's a
you have,
really good point.
when you have that be a reality, you realize like, wow, just love them, see the good. There is so much good. And it's of the spirit to see the good, to be able to value and honor and respect and love. That's all of God, and that is of the Spirit. And when you're doing that, you have the understanding of how important this family unit is, and you stick with it and you stay with it and wrap the spirit around it, and just keep your hope and just love, because I think your life is better when you do that.
It is. And if somebody had told me back years ago when I was struggling with all my kids leaving the church except one, if they had told me, you'll be okay with this, like you'll actually feel comfortable with this and you'll actually have a lot of love for your kids and you'll be totally happy. If someone had told me that back then, I would never have believed it. I would never have believed it. In fact, I remember a couple of women telling me, oh, don't worry, your kids will come back. And no, I mean, they might, but they might not. But that's not the point. The point is to get where you can just love them for who they are. Like you said, see the good and know that their relationship is the most important thing. That's what gives you hope. That's what gives you hope. Not that they're going to do a certain thing, they're going to come back, or they're going to do this, or they're going to do that. No, that has nothing to do with it. Really, it doesn't. You can be happy no matter what your kids are doing.
I
You can
agree.
still be happy. And you can be happy with them.
Yes, you can have so much gratitude in your heart for who they are and what they are, because God leads you to that. That is of God and being aligned with God. And then you just live your own life, your own best life, kind of independent of them. So
Yeah.
you're so connected, and it's not, your life isn't wrapped around them, but you live your best life, and then you just love them for who they are, what they give, what you have. And I feel like it feels like so much truth to me in that, because I feel the Spirit so much. Even in saying it and speaking the words, it feels like the Spirit to me, and especially as you live it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on and helping me talk about this very hopeful conversation that when you give them what they want, you can be changed in your heart and you can find peace and happiness regardless of other people's choices. Melanie, thanks so much for being here with me today.
I love you.
I love you too. And for my listeners, if you have resonated with this podcast, please share it with someone. And please especially join me again next time for another episode of Just Love Them.